Plaintiff, Abel Robles, says the defendant dated his neighbor, and one night Abel heard a loud bang, and he realized that the defendant's bike was wrapped around his car. When Abel confronted the defendant, he claimed he was blackout drunk and didn't remember, so he's suing for the damages. Defendant Brent Prescott admits that he drinks and likes to party, but says he often saw Abel drinking in his car. Brent says one night he became violent with Brent, and Brent believes Abel is suing for more than he owes.
All right, let me hear from you first.
On the night of September 23rd, the bicycle, Mr. Brent Prescott's bicycle, ended up in the hood of my car. He was in a drunken tantrum. I don't know if he got mad with his girlfriend or something, but he was throwing a bike around from we live in the 2-story apartments, so he's throwing his bike around, and I don't know what he was doing, and I heard a bunch of noise. Next thing you know, I just hear a loud bang, and the bike is wrapped around the hood of my car.
Now, did you know him before then?
I just seen him walking around, just going into the neighbor's house.
Okay, and
I never met him before.
When you've seen him in the past, has he looked as if he was,
no, sir. He was never
someone who would engage in that type of destructive activity?
No, sir, he never looked aggressive.
Okay, and you all discussed it?
Yes, sir.
And what was the result of the discussion?
After the incident, I told Mr. Prescott that he had damaged the hood of my car. He said he didn't remember. He said he was blacked out, he was drunk, and that he was going to...
Did he remember what happened to his bicycle? Did he know he wasn't drunk when you talked to him, right?
No, he was not drunk when I talked to him.
All right, so when you talked to him, he wasn't drunk. I'm sure he knew where his bicycle was, or he wanted to look for it. He can remember that. Mm-hmm. Where was it?
I guess he took his bike off. After he wrapped the bike around the hood of my car, he ended up leaving, and he almost got ran over by another vehicle, which is my parents' truck. They were coming up the hill. He was going down the hill. He was swerving, and to avoid hitting him, my parents actually hit the brakes on their car. He swerved out of the way, and he fell off his bike, and he hit the concrete. And then he got up, and he rode off into the sunset. Your Honor, that same night, he ended up in the hospital. I find out through the police. After I called the police, they came and they told me, yeah, Mr. Prescott's in the hospital because he hurt his legs. He fell somehow and he ended up with like gashes in his legs. So I was like, wow, he was that drunk.
Let me get some of the facts from him as he sees it before we get to the damages, sir.
You know, he can say what he wants. Yes, I was drinking that night. I'm young, we drink, we party.
We as in who?
Me and my ex-girlfriend and our friends, we have people over and we'll drink and hang out. Mm-hmm. You know, we drink up in the apartment. We've seen Abel out in the car drinking. Mm-hmm. That's where he drinks. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we stay in the apartment and drink.
Does his bike fall on any cars?
No.
All right.
You know, and we stay in the house and party. They drink out in the parking lot. Okay. We'll use the bathroom in the house. We'll see them out in the parking lot peeing on other cars, electrical boxes, you know, anything that they can use for a bathroom.
Them as in your girlfriend and your buddies?
No, him and his friend.
Okay.
We've seen them out in the car drinking. And
okay, because you admit sitting up there partying and drinking all the time with your girlfriend and your buddies. So when you said you see people, you see them, I thought, you know, those people that you drink with and party with in your apartment, they sound more likely to pee on cars.
Yeah.
So forgive me for thinking it was you because it just sounded more likely to be like you.
Okay, you got it. One night, my ex-girlfriend was telling me that he had gone to the store with one of her friends to go buy some alcohol. They ended up leaving him at the store because they had gotten alcohol and ran out, stole the alcohol and came back home. Well, when he got home from buying the alcohol, we stayed and drank, you know, and that's what we do. So we go and buy our alcohol, whereas they've had plenty of reports of him stealing alcohol and coming home and drinking in the parking lot and peeing on cars and what have you, you know. And
he ever been sued for car damages to your knowledge? You seem to know a lot about his lifestyle. Do you know whether he's ever been sued like you for car damages when he's drunk?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, besides drinking in the parking lot and stealing alcohol, you know, he has gotten aggressive with me one night. I was walking back into the apartment and he threw his bag down on the ground and puffed up and got all big and wanted to fight me, you know. Well,
about what?
It was about the incident that had happened and not having the money in an orderly time. So I explained to him, you know, I didn't have the money. I won't have it for another week or two. Well, he threw the bag down and got all puffed up and wanted to fight me. Well, I'm not a fighter, so I walked back up into the apartment.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah.
You tell him I'm not a fighter.
Yeah,
I'm a drinker. I'm a
I told him
drinker.
I'm not gonna.
Let me hear from you, sir. Tell me about the discussions, any agreement? Or...
Your Honor, the day of the incident, I actually went to the neighbor's house, his ex-girlfriend, and I told her, look what your boyfriend did. And she said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I said, it's okay, you know, it's not your fault. But she said, I'll give you 150 on the 1st. This happened on September 23rd.
Who said that?
His ex-girlfriend. On the 1st of October came and went. She said she didn't have any money. So I said, it's okay, you didn't do anything. I'm gonna talk to Brent when I see him. I finally see him, I confronted him, I tell him what he did. He says, oh dude, I'm so sorry. I was totally gone, I don't remember anything. I was like, I know man, we all make mistakes, we're all human. It's cool as long as you pay for the damages. He said, yeah, no problem man. I even got a job right now, because he never has a job. And he goes, I'll pay for the damages man, I got a job lined up right now. I'll give you $250 on the 16th, and then thereafter I'll give you more money. I was like, cool, as long as you pay me.
Who's the total he agreed to pay?
Because I thought his ex-girlfriend was going to pay for the bill, I went to the cheaper, because I didn't want to stick the girl with a higher bill. I went to like a Mako. It's a lower body shop so it won't be that much money for her. But then he said he was going to take over the payments. He was going to pay for it. I was like, okay, man, I'll give you the same deal. You know, as long as you pay for the car, we're cool. And he goes, yeah, man, no problem. I'll pay for it. The 16th came. I asked him, I knock on his door. He goes, dude, they held my check. I was like, why? He's like, oh, it's because I have to leave the first week. You know,
did anyone ever agree to pay $15,13?
No, sir, because I thought he was going to pay me the original lower estimate.
You agreed at one point to a lower estimate.
Yes, sir, because I thought.
All right, and he breached that agreement. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. After I told him where's the money, he says, well, dude, I owe the IRS, I owe baby mama drama, he has child support, I don't know. And then he kept changing his story on me. So that's when I confronted him. That's when I finally said, dude, why do you keep doing this to me? Stop jerking me around.
What did he say?
He said, just take me to court, man. I'm tired of this.
Good enough.
You sure?
All right, sir.
Yeah, what had happened with the whole taking me to court thing is I was going to take the trash out, coming back, and that's when the whole fighting incident came about. You know, he asked me, where's my money? Where's my money? And I said, you know, I don't have the money.
Good enough. Tell me why you don't think you owe.
For the $1,500?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Damages to the car you
I have
caused.
an estimate that he brought over here for $694.
Tell me about the agreement first.
The agreement was I was going to pay him out of my first paycheck $250.
What was the total amount you were to pay?
I believe it was $500, because after this estimate, he had come over and talked to us and said that he found someone who could do it for $500.
Why didn't you pay the $500?
Because I hadn't had the cash at that point.
Okay, so you breached that agreement.
Okay.
So you go back to the total amount that is due. Do you have the damages?
Yes,
the
sir.
Estimate?
I have the estimates. I have
Since
police report.
He breached the agreement you all originally had.
Yes,
and
sir.
so the law is that whenever one breaches, then you're able to go back to the full amount that would be due. And the full amount that is due, according to this estimate, is $1,512, unless you have a different estimate.
I sure do, Your Honor.
And it's from Credible Body Shop. Okay, this is $699 from Mako. I thought you said you were going to Mako.
I did go to Mako, sir, so I can get a lower bill for him, so she wouldn't have to pay the $1,500.
But Mako has $699.
Okay.
So he has a lower estimate from a credible place. I find Mako to be credible. So that's why I'm not giving you $1,500. I'm giving you what Mako says, $699.57. That's your judgment. Have a good day.
Sir. I'm extremely happy with the results because I was going to see any money from this character, so I'm happy I got any money. And thank you, Judge Mathis.
I'm just glad it's out of the way and taken care of now. Don't have to go to court and deal with it at home.